Good morning, friends. This is Emily from Grammy's Garden. What I'm doing today, I've been outside and I've watered, and now I had cut back a lot of my spearmint because I want to make some spearmint tea for summer drinks, and I put some in my iced tea the other day and it was really good. So I had so much spearmint that I had this bag full and I left some. But I was doing one method that I had read about because I've not preserved spearmint before. And in that method, they said you could just wash it well, dry it on a towel, which I did, and put it into a big plastic bag and cut holes in it to vent it, and so that it could breathe and the air could get around it actually. So I did that and I kept watching it and I noticed the moisture was condensing on the inside of it. I put it in a window right like you see right here. This is my Italian oregano that's drying, and it's doing fine using that method, but it was a small amount. The problem here, I think, was a really large amount. And I just noticed my hands. See those hands? That's from pruning tomatoes yesterday. That is known as tomato tar. And it will get in the grooves of your hands and they just won't come clean. So anyway, I can live with that. If I have to explain to people, these are tomato tar hands, they're going to look at me like I'm crazy. So that's all right. As long as they're not afraid of me. As long as they don't run fleeing from me. So I started out cutting these leaves off, and I found that the easiest thing to do is to actually just pull them off. And you can see here, I've almost got this full, and you want to space it enough. I'm using a Kasori dehydrator that's my daughter's that she lent me last year. And I had so many cherry tomatoes that I think you can go back and see a video of that I actually did pardon me, I wish I had a freeze dryer, that you can actually dehydrate with like a Kasori or whatever brand you choose. She had bought a Kasori, and it worked great. I did vegetables, so go back and check out the video because I want to show you what I'm doing now. So I'm doing this. I'm going to put this tray, I don't want to get it any fuller than this, and I'm going to put it in the dehydrator, and I'm going to turn it on about 105 degrees. And each of your dehydrators will tell you how much time you need and the temperature. I'm going to do 105 degrees and check it at about 4 hours. Now here, let me show you some that I did by just placing it on a container this weekend because like I said, I wanted to get some for tea immediately. So that's crispy. Hear that? Crispy. And I'm going to just put that down into a jar. Like I save spaghetti jars. I save pickle jars. This past year, they've been my own pickles, but I actually canned pickles using pickle jars, and it worked great. They sealed every time. So I'm going to be doing this and putting it in the freezer. I keep saying freeze dryer. That's a subconscious desire I have to have a freeze dryer, but I'm not going to get a freeze dryer. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing gardening at this level I'm doing it. Because not only do we have my little garden, but we've got a big farm of garden that's my daughter's, and my son's been working. The two of them have been working it, and she goes out and tends her bees, and so it's a busy, busy thing for them. For me, I don't know how much longer, like when we've had the temperatures that we've had. Here we are, first week of June, and we're hitting 90 degrees and 90 degrees with high humidities, and it's just baking out there. So I water every single morning and to be able to keep up with mine. How much longer somebody at my age can do that, I don't know. It's a matter of just seeing each year how it goes. So it's going good this year, I'm happy to say. So anyway, off to freeze drying my mint. This I'm going to call it good and let it dry there. It looks healthy. Nothing's turning brown. See how I've got the holes vented in these? Got little holes vented wherever I could, and it's doing great. So I will label the containers. This will be my mint jar going into one of my old pasta, pickle, whatever jars. And then I'll have my own Italian oregano. The only other thing I have sage and basil, which I have one basil that looks like it's wanting to flower. If that happens, I'll start cutting leaves back, and I'll preserve them all that way, because I've probably got 100 little jars. Because once people in my family realized that I was saving jars, they're like, here, they come in with jars, which I really appreciate. So anyway, when this project's all done, even before it's done, I'll show you what it's like when it's loaded, and I'll show you what it's like once I turn it on, and we'll get it going. So there you have it. I'm going to have mint tea in the winter. Okay, friends, here's what I'm doing. I'm putting a tray in with the mint on it, and then I have this white tray below it will catch any of the small ones that have fallen through, and some already have. And then here's another tray, and then here's the tray up here that's made particularly for fine objects, or fine, you know, pieces of things that you're covering. So I'll close the door. You're getting to see my menagerie on my countertop that's getting cleaned.
So I just timed it myself because I couldn't find the manual.
Okay, I have the mint off to drying, and now this morning when I watered, I realized that I better cut the garlic scapes. So I did, and I cut the flowering part off, and then where you can see this right here, and there's where I cut it from the plant. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these in fairly small pieces, and I'll show you. I started doing that this morning. I'm gonna go sit down and watch some YouTube while I'm doing it. But I'm gonna want pieces, even probably half of this, okay? Remember the reason my hands are like this? This is tomato tar. So I should do a video just on tomato tar, because it goes right down in your skin. And I'm a gardener that gets my hands in there. I don't put on gloves, and I probably should, but I don't. Anyway, I've got these to do, and then I'm going to put them directly in the freezer and freeze them, because I've already pulled a couple of small heads of garlic for my use, and then I've got this really big stuff. Once you cut these garlic scapes, then once you cut them, it gives more energy down to the plant. I'm going to show you the energy from that beautiful garlic that I'm wanting to have and keep in my garage. I store it there all through the winter, and then usually it starts sprouting in my garage. Like, it'll start sprouting in late February, but I plant my garlic usually in October, and it lays under the snow. I may put a picture in to show you this peeping through the snow. And then it goes ahead and it's fine all winter long, and it does really what it's supposed to do in the best way that I've read about, that I've found, that I've seen. The best way is to let it be there all winter long. It sends it into a dormancy, and then when it comes out, it kind of comes out ready to grow, and it really grows well. But when I have some that do go you know, you'll see the little sprouting of it, just like you do on your potatoes or anything else like that, onions, then I go ahead and stick some of those cloves out in my garden, and I have early garlic, which this is from my garlic that I planted in the fall. And I'm anxious, when I see how big those bulbs are and I get ready to pull it, I'll show that to you all. So anyway, I'm busy. I'm getting ready to clean up my house. I have a pork loin that I put a bunch of spices and some, balsamic vinegar and all kinds of things in it. Onions, green peppers, and it's been marinating all night, and it's going in the crock pot because my oldest son and my youngest son are coming for dinner tonight. And I'm gonna make a strawberry shortcake for them. And it's an old family recipe. So, anyway, you all know I'm a busy, busy lady. I'd be on here a lot more if I weren't. It's me doing this stuff. So I appreciate you all following me. Instead of taking me 4 to 5 hours to dry this mint, it took me like 6.5 hours. Now, I could have filled this one, like pushed it way down in and filled it, but what I do with things that I dehydrate is I like to come and turn them a couple times a week, and for just a little while, and then you'll see I've almost got that one too full. That way you can make sure that there's plenty of airflow and that there's nothing that's going to end up moldy or anything like that. So that's how easy that was. Sissy's trying to say hello. Hi, Sissy. She woke up from her nap. So anyway, it's been a good day. I got all this done, got the garden watered. This does itself actually with these dehydrators. I think the next thing I'm going to dehydrate is probably some mushrooms I bought and I need to use them. So I'll do that, and then maybe I'll be making a mushroom soup and using that, or a powdered base of mushroom soup. So there you have it, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.